Hi there, thanks for joining me tonight. So tonight we're going to be making, we're going to use our ScanNCut. We don't have to use our ScanNCut for this part. So if you don't have a cutting machine, you can skip past this whole part. Just fast forward it and you'll be able to see the part where we start doing the sewing. And we're going to do hand sewing today. I want this to be as accessible to everybody because if you have a sewing machine, you can figure it out from there. So we're going to hand sew it so that everybody can see how it goes together. And if you have a sewing machine, then you can, advance that. If you have an embroidery machine, you can probably figure out how to do it in the hoop. I'm going to try to do an in the hoop project with just the designs on our embroidery machine, as well as try to do a digitized one. But that's going to take me a couple days to get all that stuff out. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to be making one of these masks. So the hospitals have been calling for people to sew fabric masks. At first we were told those were not appropriate and we shouldn't be doing that, but now they're calling for them. And my cousin, who works in food service, she asked me for a face mask a couple days ago, and I told her the same thing. I was like, those aren't going to do anything for you. But I did a lot of more research, and my research led me to, if you couple the face mask with the proper kind of face shield, then you get a lot more protection. This has to, according to one of my viewers, it has to go right against your head to make sure. But I mean, you're not going to be working in a hospital, so don't be around anybody who's like coughing up phlegm and stuff like that and trying to use this like and expecting it to be, don't hold me to this is going to save you from it. But this will give you an added layer of help. And we did a video on this in the group, and we did the video also on YouTube, so look for that. The group is Brother ScanNCut for Beginners with Clever Dog Designs. I just changed it. Anyways, so with a mask coupled with a face shield, you'll have a lot more protection. And so whenever I was doing all that research, I was finding all of these different patterns and different ways that people were making them. There's so many different ways to do it. But today I just wanted to focus on the traditional way that we're going to do this. We're going to have it folded, and so that it can do the, when it's on, it does that. It's not going to have this metal piece at the top because these are disposable. If we put a metal piece at the top, we have to do a lot more intricate sewing. And I just don't want to do that. I want to make it really super simple today so that people can just get going on them. Anyways, so the pattern that I found was on the Deaconess website, and they're a hospital that was calling at one time for a bunch of these, and people answered their call. So now they're asking for people to call around to their local places and see if they need them. So anyways, that's the pattern that I'm using. So they don't need them anymore at that hospital. It sounds like they've got an overabundance of them at this point. But if you need to make them for your friends and stuff like that, it's still a good pattern. Your friends and family or yourself. All right, so what we're going to do here, this is our fabric that we're going to put on the ScanNCut. And to make it cut really good on a ScanNCut machine, you have to get the fabric really stiff. And so that means putting it in between two pieces of freezer paper, or putting like I can see the package of the stuff right now, but I cannot think of what it is for the life of me. Oh my goodness. Well, anyways, it's the stabilizer that irons on. It's clear and it irons onto the fabric to give it more stabilizer. You use it for applique and stuff like that. I cannot believe I can't remember what it's called. Anyhow, so I have a smaller piece of fabric than is required. So what they're asking for adults is 9 by 7.5, and for children it's 7.5 by 5. And this is not those dimensions, and we're not going to use those dimensions. We're going to be just doing a little mock-up because I'm out of freezer paper and I can't go get more. So we're going to use what we have, and I have just, I keep my scraps of everything. So I had scraps this big. You need 2 of these so that we can sew them back to back. And you need 4 pieces, 2 pieces of fabric and 4 pieces of the freezer paper. You want to put the freezer paper onto the fabric with the glossy side in, and you want to lay your fabric on the second piece, glossy side down. Is that how it is? Yes. Okay. All right. And so you can do this with a regular iron or with a Cricut press. I happen to just have my Cricut press set up because I've been doing other things, and it's just right here. But if you want to use an iron, just use your cotton setting with no steam. Do not use steam, okay? Oh, sorry, I'm in the light. Okay, and this is set at 350 degrees. I don't know if that's a good setting or not, but it works. So I mean, you can probably use a lower setting or even a higher setting. That's what I'm saying. So what we're basically going to do is just get this to cut out more. I mean, we don't have to have it perfect. If you don't have a cutting machine and you just want to use scissors, I think I already said this at the beginning, you can skip to the other part, but this is going to give us our perfect pieces. So we're going to take that and we're going to sew them face to face. And what I want to do is I want to wrap up the bottom part but leave it open so that people can slide in a filter or something like that if they want to. And I think I'm going to put fray check on it so that it doesn't fray instead of trying to sew it. I think that is where I'm going to end up going with that. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to end up doing. Oh, crap. Can't believe I left that on there so long. Nothing turned brown. So let it cool in place. If you let it cool in place, it won't warp so much and all the stuff gets time to adhere. That one feels like it's pretty good. This one's going to be really good because it was sitting there for so long, obviously. And so once these are cooled off, I'm going to put them on the ScanNCut mat, and they'll be on one at a time, I think, because it looks like they're too big, but we'll see in a second. So I'll be right back, okay? All right, you guys, I'm over here at the ScanNCut CM350, and I've already done all the test cuts. So my recommendation is to do test cuts like crazy till you figure out your settings for you. It's going to be a combination of the pressure, the cut pressure, as well as the blade depth. And when you do your test cuts, start low. Start, you know, unless you're, you know that this is going to probably be more than 1, start at 2. You know what I mean? But start low and change your pressure as you're going up with this as well. And try doing it kind of staggering it instead of going all the way up to 9 and then cutting through, and just start small. Start on the low end. That's all. That's just my 2 cents about that. All right, so I went ahead and used blue painter's tape, is what everybody calls it, but on the roll it says Scotch Blue 2090. There. Okay, so that's what I used to put on here. I didn't know for years. I've had my ScanNCut for a long time, and I didn't know that we were allowed to do this. And so it kind of changed my world. There's a lot of different things that we can do now that I know that we can use the blue painter's tape. So blah, 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 blah. All right, I'm going to move you up to the screen. So close your eyes for a second. I feel like I'm talking to my kid. Close your eyes. Okay, I'm going to turn on the light. Okay. All right, so we're going to go into pattern, and we're going to go just into the shapes right here, and we're just going to pick a regular old rectangle, okay? And that is BAA012. Okay, and that's going to give us this. This setting is, it's a random setting that they've chosen. But we want to have it at, the dimensions for the adult was 9 by 7.5. So we want 9. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it at the dimensions that they're asking for. And because we have to modify it because they don't have enough freezer paper, we have to make a smaller piece of fabric. We have to make a smaller mask that I don't know if it's going to fit on any human. But we want to put it to the dimensions that they're asking for and then bring it down. So they want 9 by 7.5 for an adult. Okay, and then we're going to choose set. Oh, no, we're not. Yeah, well, we can do that. Let's scan in our thing. No, we do choose set, and then we're going to scan in our fabric, the material on the mat, to make sure that we can have perfect placement. All right, well, obviously this is way too big, so we're going to go in here to the edit screen, and this, from that setting, we're just going to let it, instead of doing it separately, we're going to leave it where it's going to change both at the same time, and we're going to make it as little as we can. This is going to be cute. It'll probably fit like an American doll or something. Or stuffed animal. I'm going to put it on stuffy. I bet you can find a stuffy around here. Well, I don't need to bet you. I probably can find a stuffy around here. Okay. And now we need 2 of these, so we'll choose OK. Bring this one down here. Okay. Okay. Cut. That's literally all there is to it. Like I said, this is a totally unnecessary step. This is just for those of us with the ScanNCut and the desire to have it, the dimensions be perfect. But it's not a necessity whatsoever. You can cut this out with scissors. Same dimension. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to do a video to hand sew one of these. I mean, we're going to hand sew this little one too, but this is actual size. And this one is 9 by 7, well, I guess it should be 7.5. I didn't measure all the way down there, but I just drew on it with a pen. So you can do that. You don't need to have the ScanNCut to make it perfect. You can draw on it and do your best. Okay. All right, it is all done. That took less than a minute once we got everything started. I'm going to move you again. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so let's gently peel off this fabric. Okay. And we have our perfect cut pieces. No snags or anything like that. This is going to be so tiny and adorable, you guys. Oh. Maybe. So the cool thing about the freezer paper method is that there's no residue. It's right back to the cotton that you started with. And I don't know if you can reuse these, but there's still a lot of shine on them, so I'm going to say you probably can try at least one more time. Maybe I will. I'll let you guys know if I do that. It's like peeling a sticker when I don't have any fingernails. Okay, so there's our pieces. Our perfectly cut little beautiful pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them face to face. We're going to sew them on these 3 sides, and then we're going to flip it inside out so it's pretty on this side, and then we're going to fold it. Here, I'll kind of show you down here. Fold it. This is going to be a terrible rendition, but kind of just fold it over each other. And then sew that down this side, sew that down that side, and then sew the elastic on. And like I said, we're going to leave the bottom open and put like fray check on it. we're going to leave the bottom open so people can put stuff in it. So I'll be back with all my sewing supplies after I get all this stuff cleaned up. See you in a second. All right, so I'm over here with the fabric pieces on my ironing board. I'm going to go ahead and instead of using fray check, I'm just going to go ahead and sew the hem there on the bottom so that whenever people wash it, it doesn't, it might still get a little bit frayed because it's hand sewn, but this is going on a stuffy. So if you're a seamstress at all, or if you have any kind of idea of how, oh, you know what? There we go. It's been a long time since I've sewn something, you guys. I've been having so much fun with my ScanNCut. I do some embroidery stuff still, but very long time since I put anything together like this. Okay, so we're going to double roll it. We're going to press it so it kind of stays that way, and then we're going to hand sew it. And you know, this isn't the way to do it. This is my way to do it. You are welcome to modify it any way that makes more sense to you. I'm just going roughly off the Deaconess instructions, and mostly I was just looking for their dimensions because the whole thing is pretty easy to put together. If you look at a face mask, it's not super hard to figure out how to do this. Okay. So I'm going to hand sew and put it in high speed. So you're not going to be able to hear my voice or talking or anything like that. It's just going to go silent for a second, unless I can fill it in with some music. But I'm just trying to get this information out as fast as possible, so I don't really want to mess around with that stuff. Okay, so first we're going to sew these pieces, our hems, and then we're going to put our, can you still see this? Okay, our pieces of elastic right in here. I'm not sure what measurements to use for this. On the Deaconess PDF, it didn't say what size to use for these, so if you can find the size for the ears, that would be awesome, for the ear elastic. But we're going to put the elastic inside like that. And so we're going to have this obviously sewn. We're going to start over here. We're going to sew up. We're going to sew over. And then we're going to add this one in. We're not going to try to keep both of them in at the same time. That just makes, this one's just going to fall out anyways. So we can pin it, but we just may as well just wait a second. And then sew down on this side. And so whenever I'm done with all of that and we can flip it over, I'll be back to talking to you. So this is going to go into high speed. See you in a second. Okay, so we've got the hem. I was having a hard time tying off my ends because one of them made it gather too much and the other one just there was too much at the end. But I figured I'm just going to be sewing those sides anyway, so I didn't need to keep standing there obsessing over it. All right, so we'll grab one of our pieces of elastic. I got lucky that this piece right here is already curved. It's like naturally curved from being in the packaging. So we just wanted to stick out a little bit so that we can see where it is. You are welcome to pin it at this point if you want. I'm just going to start sewing since it's such a small piece, but maybe on a bigger piece. Oh, wait, I'm not going to just start sewing. Okay, I have to charge my phone. Okay, I have to charge my phone, and I have to reload. Why are you being so noisy right now? Just turn off. My Cricut machine is yelling at me. Sorry. Okay, so let's zoom out a little now. All right, so we have the beginnings of it. I need to reload my needle with some more thread, and also charge my phone a little bit more. But we're on the right track. So obviously this is very rough. If you have a sewing machine, you're going to get a much nicer thing. If you do fast, closer stitches, you're going to have a much better thing. I'm just kind of in a hurry because it's a tutorial. You want to, do a much better job than me. So this is going to be on the sides where they can, pull it over their ears. Okay. And then what we're going to do when we get done with all the sewing, we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. We're going to sew the top. We're going to take this part right here, and we're going to kind of fold it up, and we're going to iron it. And then whenever we do the cascading thing, this part will be open, but it'll be up. So that way you can still put stuff in there, but it's not going to fall right out the bottom. Hope that makes sense. All right, so I'll be back in a minute whenever I've got everything ready to go again for the rest of this. All right, thanks for being with me. All right, everything is charged back up. I'm going to continue sewing, but I kind of had a revelation, and it made me think, do we have to sew you don't have to sew these on the inside. You don't have to do that. You can sew this whole pouch thing and then do the foldy thing that we're going to do, and then sew these on, because I'm thinking like it can't be tested because I don't have a little one, but if we have it inside, that's just going to be huge. But like I said, I can't tell, so adjust it to the size that you need it to be. But I'm thinking it's okay to either do it this way. It just doesn't feel right for some reason, and I'll probably figure it out whenever I do the bigger one. That's for, I want to do a separate hand sewing video that isn't related to the scan and cut for everybody else. So back to fast forward. All right, you guys, so it is mostly done, and I had a ton of mistakes, so hopefully you won't see them in the speeded up version. But yeah, there was a couple parts that I wrapped over there. My string that I made for the second part was like crazy long, so it kept getting stuck in everything. But here we go. I think putting them on the inside is going to be just fine. I was a little weary about it, but this is all experimental, and for a lot of us, this is all new. So on where it's going to be attaching your elastic, you want to give it a little bit of extra attention and just kind of, put the needle and thread through there a few times. but here's the basic shape of it. Okay, and so what we're going to do next is we're going to fold that part up in the back, and this is very small, so you kind of have to just think about if you're going to have much bigger piece to work with. We're working with a small piece because I'm limited, because I wasn't prepared for this. Okay, so, and then we're going to take it and, well, the plan is to have three, let's see if I can do it. There you go. Supposed to have 3 folds, okay? Woo! My Cricut machine is not on. So once you got your folds down, press it, iron it, press it, whatever you call it. Make it where these lie flat. So I have to wait for my machine to heat up a little bit. But in the meantime, isn't that adorable? So once we get it pressed, we'll be able to sew it up the sides much easier. Okay, and you know, this is just a rough draft. This is the way that I do it. This is not the 100%, you know, this is how you have to do it way. So take this and run with it. Run with, you know, different ideas of how to do it and stuff like that. If you come up with an in the hoop design, please let me know. I will promote the crap out of it. So what we want to do right now is we want to get everybody protected as much as we possibly can, as soon as we can, and everybody's ideas are welcome and wanted, and we want to work together. I mean, this is the way we're supposed to be anyways, but right now it's even more important. Oh, I had a feeling that happened. It's so much easier with the iron because, you know, you can, it's small. This thing is huge. Okay, let's see if we can do that. And let it slide over it. All right. We'll see if this works. I didn't set the timer because I don't really know how long I should be doing this. Okay, well that's about good enough. Looks like that corner up there didn't quite make it when I put the edge, you know, whenever I sewed it, but that's okay. Like I said, this is a template. We're gonna just do our best, and this is probably gonna end up on a little stuffed animal, some sort. Oh, why did I just tied a knot in thread on the threader on the, oh my gosh, on the spool instead of the actual line I needed. Sorry I'm all over the place, guys. I am just kind of probably like you, all over the place. Okay, so from here it's pretty simple. We're just going to sew a line up here, and I'm going to sew it back to be sturdy. And if you have a sewing machine, you're going to get much better results. You know, it's going to be much tighter. The stitches are going to be more uniform. But like I said, not everybody has a sewing machine, so. Oh, and my thread's crazy long. I'll be back with you guys in a second. This is going to go on high speed. Yay! So we're done. Okay, so this is the bottom part. Remember, we left it open so they could put a little, you know, filter or whatever they want to put in there, whatever they can put in there. And then this, you know, you'll obviously do a much better job than me. But the plan is for it to go up over the nose, down over the chin, and around the ears. So I'm going to go find an adorable stuffed animal, and I'll take a picture of it and include it at the end of this video. So I'll see you guys later. I hope that this was helpful. I won't be sharing in the ScanNCut group, but I will have a video just for hand sewing the correct adult size. So it won't be quite this choppy, okay? So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Actually, that's not what I meant to say at all. I meant to say thanks for being with me. I hope that this was helpful. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.